Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about 4 software that if you've just started up in business, you cannot afford to not think about. Now, when you start up in business, it's very, very, very tricky. At the end of the day, most startups, we're going to be doing it on a shoestring budget. So what we need to be doing is taking a lot of information ourselves and keep on top of a lot of things for ourselves before we can start considering outsourcing. Now, at some point, you are going to need to outsource as you grow your business, but we've got plenty of videos on how to achieve that one. This video is about taking control of it all for yourself and which software we use to start our businesses up from scratch. So join me as we look at 4 must-have software solutions for you and your business. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet, and also head of account here at Boffix. And it's my hat of being head of accounts here at Boffix that I really come at you from. Because these 4 pieces of software, not only did we need at the very beginning of Boffix, but we still use today. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. So let's get straight into it and talk about the first one that I think is an absolute game changer. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, this first one is a bit of a cop-out. This is a piece of software you are 100% going to know about, but there's a reason we want to bring it in. And that's using Microsoft Office. Now, Microsoft Office, Office 365, whatever name they want to call it at the moment, I think actually it's called now Microsoft 365 is the official title for it. But what I'm talking about is the paid for version. Yes, you can get free versions of this, and yes, you can go around a bit, but actually paying for the full version of Microsoft is a huge game changer. Think about what you get with that subscription. Maybe not best in class email solution, but one of the most reliable out there. And at the beginning of your whole time of being in business, reliability is so important. You can't afford emails to go amiss. You can't afford emails not to be there when you need them. So Microsoft Office 365 and having Outlook on there is an absolute no-brainer. Whereas on nearly every device I've ever used, it means that I'm always going to be able to keep up to date with my email. Plus, for me personally, the fact that the email and the calendar are all in the same app makes a lot of sense to me. At the end of the day, most of the time I'm juggling that calendar, I'm juggling those emails, so it makes sense they're both in the same place. Highly recommend definitely having it just from Microsoft Outlook straight away. But what else do we get with that? Well, you've got Word, you've got PowerPoint, you've got Excel, and don't discount how powerful an Excel document can be. Literally at the beginning, we ran most of what we do for our business through Excel. And to this day, we still use it. And we've even enhanced what we do with it. We're using macros, we're using screen scraping, we're using all sorts of technology within there to actually get the most out of Excel itself. And then I think there's 2 unsung heroes within that Microsoft 365 subscription. The first one is Microsoft Teams. Absolutely love Teams. Now, yes, there are times where Teams isn't quite as good as it could be. It's a little bit buggy here and there. There seems to be times where you kind of don't feel like you're getting the notifications right. But put them aside, and there's certain things that surely are going to get fixed at some point. But putting them aside, the concept of what Teams is huge. Especially start expanding your team, start bringing on new members of staff. Having the ability to have one place where you can have those meetings, having an ability where you can have those chats with them. The whole mentality of stop sending emails to each other and start sending team messages completely changes the game. Now it's not this formal dear sirs or dear so-and-so and kind regards. It's, oi, have you looked at this? And that whole concept of being so much more quick and sharp means that we can get things done a lot quicker. I absolutely love Teams, and Teams has been an absolute incredible part from us, especially when we've considered what we went through the pandemic and all of that sort of stuff. We were using Teams way before then, but it just enhanced what Teams can do for us. One extra bit about Teams as well that completely changed, we've used it, is the ability to use it as a telephone system. So it's great to have one-to-one calls with people on Teams itself. You can have your camera on and you can talk to them. But you're always going to have some clients who still need to have access to a phone. Maybe they're not in front of a computer, whatever it's going to be. And a telephone call is just the best way to do it. Well, with Teams, we actually embrace that. So our team solution isn't just what we can do video calls and have those sort of meetings there and more ad hoc meetings like that, but we also have the opportunity to be able to actually make phone calls from it as well. And again, from any device. I can put any of my device up and I'm holding my office phone number in my hand, meaning I can make that call at any point, and it means I can keep that business relationship going better. It's too easy to grab your own mobile phone, make a call and talk on there, but the problem is they then have your mobile number. This way, when a client rings us back, they go straight through our phone system and gets dealt with accordingly. The other thing in Office 365 that I absolutely love and I think is going to be really powerful is the bookings calendar. The bookings calendar completely changes the way our business works. We're able to put a bookings calendar out there to each and every one, including people who are watching this video just now, and you then have an opportunity to book a time that's right for you and right for us. Now, just having that there as a calendar is great and it works really, really well. But there is actually something in there that is super important. And that's the ability to add multiple different services, having the opportunity to have multiple different people looking at them. It's expanding all the time. But our booking calendar has completely changed the way that we do business. We're able to make sure that we're available for our clients when they need us, but also not having to worry about have we got capacity issues or anything like that. Because it's all based on that bookings calendar. And at any point in time, I can see how full that calendar is. And that's when capacity issues and everything else will sort themselves out. Because then I know at that point, I need to go and sort out whatever issue I've got. So Microsoft 365, for me, absolutely essential. Now, you could go away with using Google and use their G Suite option if you wanted to go down more their route. Very, very similar. You're not quite going to get the power of Teams and Office and the bookings, but you'll still have a good Word document system and everything else that goes with it. So please make sure you get yourself a full version of Microsoft 365. My next one is a solution called HubSpot. And this really did change the way in which we were able to deal with client queries and emails and everything else. Now you think about it, when you first start out in business, just keeping an eye on one email account isn't too hard. But if you drop the ball even once, the potential is you could lose client or clients very easily. How often have you seen an email come in, read that email, gone, yep, that's definitely something I'm going to deal with, go to maybe unread it or whatever system you've got to go on and follow up on that task, but then didn't follow up on the task. Then the client's going to come back to you either very disgruntled or concerned that you haven't been able to complete that task for them. Well, this is where HubSpot for me changes that whole mentality. If I look here, I've got this HubSpot system on front of me and it's telling me all this wonderful data of how my business is doing at any point in time. But at any point, I can go into the tickets area, I can see my view, and then I can crucially go and see the view of the practice. Now, the idea is we're replacing emails and we're changing them to what's called tickets. And really a ticket is an email. It's just that we're putting it into a form that means we can do a lot more with it. You see, what happens in our practice is that every time an email comes in, it gets converted from a ticket. But it's not just emails, it's every form of information that comes in. Any touch point a client could have, maybe it's a Facebook message, maybe it's email, maybe it's a telephone call, whatever it's going to be. One way or another, they get converted to a ticket. Those tickets then are in a pool and we can then dish those tickets out to individual people. The people can then individually pass those tickets around to other members of staff. But ultimately the goal is to close that ticket. And you physically have to go in and close the ticket for it to be gone off your screen. And then that changes your mentality. You don't have an inbox with maybe 50 unread messages, or maybe a text or WhatsApp system that's telling you that you've got these messages, or even a to-do list. Your to-do list becomes the tickets that you have. And you can be really clever with these tickets. You can reply to a client with them. You can initiate a phone call with them. You can ultimately change the way in which you have with regarding to clients. The concept of tickets originated from things like IT professionals and having serviced solutions. And I must admit, when I first saw the concept of tickets, I didn't think it worked for every business. But now I can categorically say I don't find a single type of business out there that can't benefit in one way or another to tickets, because it means that you're then in control. You can see how long a ticket has taken to complete. You can see how many tickets are still out there. When you change touch points from client into tickets, your whole mentality changes, and it really does help. It can help you spot capacity issues, and it can make sure that you're keeping your clients always at the forefront of what it should be, meaning that they're going to feel like they are understanding what's going on. We've even pushed our ticketing solution further, and we now drive all of our data into there, including clients' data they want us to process. So as an accounting firm, we've got lots of tickets coming in, things like receipts they've sent in or bills they've sent in, and we treat them as tickets so that we can keep control of that at any point in time. We know when it's getting out of control, we know when we're on control of it, and it means that we have lots of options. Also, it's a CRM system, HubSpot, so that means that you've got the opportunity to run things like when you're sending out quotes and sending out reminders and keeping on top of all of those money in and opportunity areas. It really does focus your business, and it becomes an absolute essential tool. I absolutely love HubSpot, and I've not found anyone yet who hasn't been able to fit it into their business. Now, my third solution is one I was a bit dubious to begin with. In fact, it was our marketing person, Lizzie, hi Lizzie, who was able to push us forward into this direction. Now, the solution we're going to be talking about is called Canva. And think of Canva as the ultimate way to make actual document and signage and social content and anything else in between, but actually make it so it looks really professional each and every time. You see, I am a complete enough to novice when it comes to anything design related. You throw something at me and I really do struggle to be able to have any form of creativity when it comes to things like putting together a nice photo or anything like that. I was using solutions like Photoshop and all these other items that came through. But ultimately what I was finding out is that they are designed for the professionals. And if you put that tool in front of a professional, they can do wonderful things. You put that tool in front of a novice though, and we're just banging our heads against the wall. Until Canva turned around. You see, Canva for me is the one-stop shop where I know that if there is anything I need to create, any asset whatsoever, I can pretty much throw it at Canva and it'll build it what it needs to. Let me show you what I mean. So Canva itself is item like here. You can see I've already got quite a few things that I've done in the past. And these are all social assets on either YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn. And you can see how useful they are. But also we can do brochures from here and slide decks from here. And I promise you, if you've ever gone from a PowerPoint presentation to a Canva presentation, they are night and day. So much more professional, so much more engaging. My cleverness, or what I find clever about it, is all you need to do is just put in the content here. If I need to do a YouTube thumbnail, well, it appears here and gives me all the information I need. If I do need to do an Instagram reel, then the Instagram reel turns up. It really does have wonderful templates. And once you've got a template that you want, let's look at the whiteboard, for example, and look at some of the options that are here. Let's bring up everyone's favorite SWOT analysis, customize this template. Then suddenly I've got all of these tools to help me go through and build it. And the best thing I find about all this is that it's very much brand aware. Once you've got your project all up and running, you then have the option to apply your brand. So for me, we have multiple different brands within this organization, from the QuickBooks Chap to Boffix to all the other items in between. Ask the Accountants, a good example. Now, for us to make content for each of those individual ones, it will take a while for me to have to keep remembering the colors used and everything else. With this, you just pick what brand you're working with, and then it's going to bring that information in. Absolute game changer, and I love it. Canva to me has changed the way that I'm thinking about creating content. It's not a case of me then having to worry about how I'm going to bring my idea to life. It's going to give me those tools that are really easy to use. It's literally drag, drop and everything else. Again, you have got multiple devices, which we're all about. But the other thing is it's a great inspiration as well. If I can't figure out what my YouTube thumbnail needs to be, not a problem. I go over to here, I put YouTube thumbnails in, and I just go through some of the options that appear there. As I'm scrolling through, my ideas are coming together, and that's how I can then pick one that's going to work for whatever situation I need it. I promise you, it's an absolute game changer when you've done it right. And I absolutely love using this solution. And the final solution I want to talk about, well, we have a whole dedicated channel on it, so you probably guessed already, and that is, of course, QuickBooks. Now, QuickBooks is designed to be the place where you can make sure you're always on top of your business. You're able to make sure that you attach your bank account, use really clever technology to take photos of receipts that magically appear within QuickBooks. QuickBooks has everything you need to keep on top of your business finances, and I, for one, absolutely love it. I would not be recommending QuickBooks if I hadn't spent all this time spending all of my effort creating content after content and content about it. And there's still more content for me to put out there. It's a vast piece of software that can work from the smallest of small businesses to the largest of businesses and can fit pretty much every industry out there as well. QuickBooks for me is an absolute game changer. I use it every single day without fail, and it's something that I would highly recommend to every single business out there. There's no point in me going through all of the benefits here right now, but head over to our other channel, Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chap, and you'll see there are mountains of content, which means you're going to feel confident about making sure that you have everything you need. Best of all, we have an online store dedicated to all things business, and on there is an opportunity for you to get a discounted version of QuickBooks Online. So use the links below, grab yourself a discounted version of QuickBooks, and stay tuned because we're also launching very soon our training portal. So you're going to have everything you need to make sure that you're using QuickBooks the right way. Now, bonus piece of solution for you all. Thank you for staying behind, by the way. If you have stayed this far, why not think about pressing the subscribe button, giving the book a like. Hopefully this has been worthwhile for you. We've got plenty and plenty of other content your way. So please do use that like button, give us a subscribe, and we will then be able to make sure that you have everything you need for your business. Now back to this one. Now Linktree itself, there are various other options out there. You don't just have to use Linktree, but ultimately you want to change your mindset for passing out links to people. It's so easy, especially if you're doing a piece of content or you want to put an email together or anything where you put a link out there and everything's happy. But what about if that link is something that may need to change in the future? Could be a direct debit link. It could be something really important like the address to your store. It could be you wanting to push to a piece of content that you're really proud of. Well, all of those are great examples of how using links can push people directly to where you need to go. The problem is if that link changes or if you need to change that link, then that could be a really messy and long-winded way of doing it. So what we've done is changed it. So every time we send a link out, it's always a link to a Linktree. That means we're in control, because effectively what a Linktree is, if you see here, it's just a really nice way of being able to put other links to everything else. Great links that we've got out there in the wild is like our public Linktree here. Every video we've ever done, every piece of content we've ever done comes back to here. That way they can see all of our social areas. They can see about where they can book, going back to that booking page we talked about. They can see about the online store, back to that online store I've just talked about. Everything they need is here. And if any of those links were to change for us, then we just change Linktree and everything else is hunky-dory. I love the idea of Linktree. And I'm not saying Linktree is the only solution to use, but you must be looking at ways in which going forward to make your life more efficient. And this, to me, is a really efficient way of doing things. So start getting control of your links going forward. Use Linktree from day one. That means every time you put a social bit of content out and you want to mess around with it, amend it, update it, whatever it's going to be, then you can drive forward too. Also, great bonus use of it as well is you get some great statistical data. We can look at the Linktree and see how many people clicked on it, where they were sent to next, all that sort of data, which means that you can then understand what's going right and what's going wrong for your content going forward. And there we have it. My name has been Aaron Patrick. Remember, if you have gone all this far and you did like this content, please consider giving us a subscribe, a like, all that sort of stuff. Maybe tell your friends about how good Boffix is for you and your business. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As always, this video has been an absolute pleasure. Let us know in the comments below, what piece of software did we forget? Is there any opportunity for us to go forward with any other piece of software that you think should be told to the world? Let us know in the comments below, and there's more than likely going to be a follow-up video. Also, if any of these pieces of software I've just gone through is something you want to see in more detail, then that's where the comment section is going to be useful for you. Let us know what you think you need to see more of, and we'll get around to doing a video at some point. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.